Wait a second. Think these guys just avoided a government shutdown only until December 22nd? And if Democrats like Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer don't get their way on illegal immigration, all bets are off. But isn't that a threat that Schumer used to swear off?
We believe strongly in immigration reform. We could say we're shutting down the government. We're not going to raise the debt ceiling until you pass immigration reform. It would be governmental chaos.
So he's okay with the chaos now. Hi, everybody. I am Lauren Simonetti. Welcome to Cashin' In. Our Cashin' In crew this week, Rachel Campos-Duffy, Jerry Willis, Gary Kaltbaum, and Juan Williams. Welcome to the show. Gary, we're going to begin with you. Are Democrats being hypocrites right now?
Well, look, there is enough hypocrisy in both parties over the years to fill a couple of oceans. But all you need to do is look at this. I have a special place in my heart for the Schumer, Pelosi, Sanders party. Say one thing and do the other. But let's be clear, nothing's going to change when all's said and done. If there's a government shutdown, the Republicans will be blamed. If there's a government shutdown, nothing's going to change because essential services will be out there. And what we do know is eventually the debt ceiling's going up, deficits are going up, debt's going up, and spending's going up, and it's going to be all on the taxpayers' back when all's said and done.
But Juan, why are they conflating these issues, keeping the government open and the spending bill, with what to do with dreamers and, you know, children brought here illegally with their parents?
Well, I think there's on both sides. So Gary's right. I think there's tons of hypocrisy all about. But what you've got here is the president using the dreamers as a bargaining chip. The president has said that he wants to resolve this issue. Public opinion is on the side of these young people who came to this country as children and who've grown up here, speak English, serve in our military, go to our schools. We want them to succeed. But at the moment, you have the president in the midst of these budget negotiations saying to the Democrats, this is part of the deal, and the Democrats saying, well, this is just about the dreamers, not comprehensive, which is the clip you played from Schumer back in 2013. He's talking about comprehensive legislation. Here we're just talking about these young people.
Rachel, how does this play out, though? And maybe this is part of the president's bargaining chip that Juan is speaking of. How does this play out, A, in the midterm elections next year, especially for Democrats in red states or states that voted for Trump, and then again for the big election, the presidential in 2020, because many Democrats will be positioning themselves on, we did this to protect dreamers?
Well, I don't think the Democrats will look good if the government shuts down over this. I think, frankly, the Kate Steinle verdict has changed the game a little bit. I know that's not directly to do with dreamers, but it speaks to so many of the problems that we have with immigration and why we need to think this through thoughtfully. This isn't just hypocritical on the part of Chuck Schumer. It's also unnecessary. The president wants DACA, or a solution for the dreamers. He extended it through March. So there's no need to hold up the government over this right now. I agree with Jim Jordan when he says that nothing good happens right before Christmas. There's a lot of things that need to be resolved around the issue of DACA. We need March to do that, to deal with chain migration, to deal with border security, and do this properly. I'm
laughing, Rachel, because sometimes people are nicer around the holidays, right? But, you know, Jerry...
Well, that's right. You know what I mean. I mean in government, not people.
Hey, it extends to them, too. Jerry, I wanted to ask
government.
you, the president has shown sympathy when it comes to this population. He really has. Yeah. So what are people Congress has to deal with this, and they have until March to do so.
That's right. That's what he's told Congress to do. He wants something on his desk by March. And let me tell you, I mean, it's so hard to listen to the Democrats these days. They're trying to look like they're taking the lead on this issue. In fact, it looks like Trump's going to score big time on this because, you know what? We're right. Everybody's been saying that the public is on the side of doing something for dreamers. But let me tell you, if you're listening to the Democrats, look, just look back. Conyers is either an icon of the House, or he's a repeat sexual harasser. You know, former FBI Director James Comey, he's either a person who never should have been fired by the president, a paragon of virtue, or he's a horrible person that should be investigated and stole the election from the president, from Hillary Rodham Clinton. So, I mean, listening to them is like so confusing.
And let's remember how we got here in the first place. For many years under the last president did absolutely nothing about the immigration problem. We had so many people coming in. These dreamers, God bless them. I hope they're great success stories, but you know why they're here? Because they were let in here. And the amazing story, as I see it on both parties, they are taking this down to December 22nd, right until the holidays, and scaring people. I have elderly coming up to me and asking me on my radio show, am I going to get my Social Security checks if we shut down? So there's definitely a little political maneuvering here to scare the living daylights out of people.
And Juan, what do you make of the fact that you can make the argument that Democrats are holding hostage because of the spending bill, and, you know, Republicans obviously want more defense spending, but because of immigration, they're holding hostage are men and women in uniform that are serving and fighting for our country.
Wait a second. This conversation has gone off the rails here. It seems to me there's a pretty clear case of who the Grinch is here that wants to steal Christmas from these children. You all say the president has good intentions, wants something done by March. He could have done something last fall. Instead, you've got all these families very nervous, having to spend this holiday season worried about deportations and ICE agents coming into their family home. And yet you don't acknowledge, oh, this is President Trump. Trump is causing chaos once again.
All right, who wants to attack Juan first? Jerry, go.
All right, so last January, the president, then President Obama, put in place plans that rounded up people in January and February of this year. Was that Trump doing that? No, it wasn't. It was President
wait a
Obama.
second. Everybody says we need immigration reform. Gary just spoke about this. When immigration reform was being done, when you had the Gang of Eight in the Senate under Obama, who stopped it? Republicans. Trump comes on and runs, makes immigration into a whipping boy and every immigrant into a demon in order to win election, and you ignore this.
Gary?
I'm just, you know, this whole general talk about demonizing immigrants, that is just not true. The president's trying to do something about the safety of this country. There is nothing wrong with that. And a job is getting done. In fact, just the rhetoric has stopped a ton of people from coming across the border. And that is good news. And by the way, Juan, you use the term Grinch. When it comes to government spending, there has never been a Grinch. There's always been more and more spending every year. We just went up $300 billion from last year. And we're going to grow another $1 trillion in the next 4 years of government spending.
Yeah, what happened to Republican objections to growing the debt?
Rachel, I'm going to let you wrap this up. If we get, finally, a solution to legal immigration, there will be a way that more legal immigrants can take part in the American dream here. So it would be prosperity for them. Wouldn't this be good for them?
Absolutely. There'll be a lot of irony if Donald Trump is the person to solve immigration reform. And I think he can, because the only thing holding it up is border security and some of these other issues like chain migration, which I think we need more time to deal with. Ramming this through right before Christmas is a very bad policy idea.
And to quote Rachel, nothing good happens right before Christmas.
Sorry.